If you have collections dragging your credit score into the ground, I'm about to show you 3 ways to get them deleted. And here's the thing, sometimes not paying your collection is actually the smarter move. Sounds crazy, right? Stick around and I'll explain why. Collections are like a credit bomb, and they can drop your score anywhere between 60 to 100 points. That one negative mark can destroy your chances of getting approved for a house, a car, or even a decent interest rate on a credit card. Think about what that actually means for your life. You find your dream home and you apply for a mortgage and the lender says no because of a collection from 3 years ago that you forgot about. Or maybe you need a car to get to work, but the dealership wants to charge you 18% interest because your score is too low. That's thousands of extra dollars over the life of the loan, all because of one negative account. But here's what most people get wrong when it comes to collection. They either ignore it completely or they rush to pay them off thinking it will fix everything. Both of those moves can actually hurt you. Today, I'm gonna walk you through 3 different levels to remove collections from your credit report, which we're gonna go through easy, medium, and hard. Easy is for beginners who want quick results with minimal effort. Medium is for people who is willing to put a little bit more work for better outcomes. And hard is the full attack plan that takes more time but gives you the best shot at deletion. Now, before we get into the strategies, we need to clear up about some confusion because most people don't even understand the difference between a charge-off and a collection. So let me break this down really simple for you. A charge-off happens when you stop paying a debt, usually for about 6 months, and the original lender gives up on collecting from you. They write it off as a loss on their books. But here's the part that nobody tells you. Just because they charge it off does not mean the debt has disappeared. What usually happens next is that they sell the debt to a collection agency, and that's when it becomes a collection. The collection agency buys your debt for pennies on a dollar. So if you owe $5,000, they might have paid just $500 for it, and sometimes even less than that. Now that they own it, they have gone to do everything that they can to collect it from you. Phone calls, letters, emails, and maybe even legal action. Here's why this matters so much for your credit. Both charge-offs and collections destroy your score, but they're handled by different companies. A charge-off is usually still handled by the original lender, while a collection is now with a third-party debt collector, and that changes on how you attack them. Now that you understand the difference, let me tell you something that almost trips up everyone. Most people think is that if they just pay off a collection, the credit score will magically improve. But that's wrong. Here's the truth. Paying a collection does not automatically remove it from your credit report. It just changes the status from unpaid to paid. And guess what? A paid collection still hurts your credit because it's still a negative mark that's still sitting there. Now, newer credit scoring models like FICO 9 and the VantageScore 4.0 do treat collections differently and weigh them less. But here's the problem. Most lenders still use older scoring models, so that paid collection is still dragging you down. If you decide to pay, you need to do what's called a pay for delete. This is where you negotiate with the collection agency before you pay, and you need to get them to agree in writing that they will completely delete the account from all 3 credit bureaus once you pay. No deletion agreement means no payment, so it's that simple. Get that letter first and make sure that they will say that they will delete the item from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Make sure that it confirms the debt is paid in full. Then and only then that you pay. If they won't agree to delete, you might be better off using one of the strategies that I'm about to show you. Speaking of which, let's get into the first method. This is the simplest way to dispute a collection, and it just takes about 10 to 15 minutes. It works best for collections that have errors or inaccuracies. Here's the good news. Almost every collection has something wrong with it. You just have to know where to look. So here's what you do. Step 1 is to pull your credit reports from all 3 bureaus. You can get them for free at annualcreditreport.com. Look at each collection account carefully and write down the creditor name, the balance, and the account number, and when the date it was opened. Step 2 is to look for anything that's wrong. Is the balance incorrect? Is the date wrong? Is your name misspelled? Is there an old address attached to it? Does the account number match on what you have on record? Is the original creditor listed correctly? Is the date of last activity accurate? Any error, no matter how small, gives you grounds to dispute. And trust me, collection agencies make mistakes all the time, so use it to your advantage. Step 3 is to file a dispute directly with the credit bureaus. You can do this online through Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, or you can send a letter. In your dispute, you're gonna say something simple like this. This account contains inaccurate information. Please verify for accuracy. That's it, short and simple. I have included a free letter pack in the description with all the templates that you'll need, so make sure that you download that. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the credit bureau has 30 days to investigate, and if they can't verify the information, then they have to delete it. Now, here's the thing. The credit bureaus use an automated system called eOscar, and it doesn't do deep investigation. It basically checks if your addresses matches on what the collection agency has on file. So sometimes they'll come back and just say it's verified even though the information is wrong. If that happens, don't panic because you can escalate that to the medium or the hard strategy. But for most people, this easy method works, especially if there are clear errors on the account. Now, I know that some of you are watching this and thinking, this still sounds like a lot. And I get it. That's why I exactly created Credit Rehab Pro. It's a software that lets you link your 3-barrel credit report, find errors, and create a dispute letter in under 5 minutes. You don't have to figure out what to write because the software does it for you. And if you don't want to deal with the printing and mailing, we also partner with a mailing service that handles everything. Take Maurice for example. He used Credit Rehab Pro and removed 4 collections and charge-off within 2 rounds of disputes. His TransUnion score jumped 59 points, Experian went up to 74 points, and Equifax increased by 39. Then there's Darius, who removed one of his collections in the very first round, and his scores improved across all 3 barrels just within a few weeks. If you want results like that without the headache, check out Credit Rehab Pro, the link is in the description. Alright, so now let's kick it up a notch. If the easy method didn't work, or if you want to come out swinging from the start, here's the medium strategy. This strategy hits the collection from 2 angles because you're disputing with the credit bureaus and the collection agency at the same time. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes to set up, but it puts way more pressure on them to delete. So here's the process. Step 1 is to pull your credit reports just like before and make 2 copies of each report. One copy is to send as proof, and the other one is to keep for your records. Step 2 is to send a verification request letter to all 3 bureaus. This is very similar to the easy method, but you're going to be doing it by mail instead of online. In your letter, you're going to be stating that the account is inaccurate and you want them to verify it. Step 3, and this is the game changer, at the same time, you're going to be sending what is called a debt validation letter to the collection agency. Under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, especially 15 USC 1692G, you have the right to demand that they prove that the debt is valid. In your letter, you're going to ask for the name of the original creditor, the full account number, the exact amount owed, payment history, and proof that they actually own the debt. Here's what most people don't realize. Most collection agencies buy debt in massive bulk purchases, sometimes thousands of accounts at once on a single spreadsheet. There's no paperwork, no original contract, just your name and a balance. Data gets mixed up, numbers gets transposed, and dates gets entered wrong all the time. If they can't prove that they own the debt, they legally cannot collect, and they cannot report it to the credit bureaus. The collection agency has 30 days to respond. If they don't respond, or if they can't provide the documents, now you have leverage. You take the non-response and report it to the credit bureaus. You're saying that the debt is unverified, and unverified information has no place on your credit report. This double attack works because you're forcing both sides to do their homework, and most of the time, they can't. The collection agency doesn't have the original documents, and the credit bureaus doesn't want to spend time on a real investigation. When you hit them from both sides, something usually breaks. So quick tip before we move on, when you send these letters, always use certified mail with the return receipt. Yes, it's going to cost a few extra dollars, maybe between $8 to $10 per letter, but that green receipt card they mail back to you is proof that they receive it. If this ever goes to a complaint or legal action, you will need that paper trail. Trust me on this. Save every receipt, every letter, and every response. Document everything like you're building a case because you are. Now for those of you who tried the easy and the medium methods and the collection is still there, it's time to bring out the big guns. This is the full attack plan. It takes the most time and the most effort, but it also has the highest chance of deletion. This is for people who are serious about fixing their credit and willing to go multiple rounds until they win. Here's the reality. The credit bureaus are betting that you just send one letter, get a verified response, and just walk away defeated. This strategy proves them wrong, and in some cases, it can even get you paid. Yes, you heard that right. The credit bureaus might owe you money for violating your rights. So here's how it works. You're gonna send multiple rounds of letters over 45 to 90 days. Each round builds pressure, and each round documents violations. Round 1 is that you start by clearing up your personal information with the credit bureaus. Send a letter requesting that they only keep one spelling of your name, your current address, and remove any old employers or phone numbers. The reason why this matters is because collections are often tied to old data. If a collection is linked to a previous address or a different version of your name, that's your opening for a deletion. You're weakening the connection between you and that account. At the same time, send verification requests to the credit bureaus and a debt validation letter to the collection agency, just like we did in the medium strategy. Then wait 45 days. Round 2 is if they come back and say verified, don't give up. Now you have to send what is called a method of verification request. You're asking them how did they verify it? What documents did they use? Who did they contact? Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 611, they must disclose their verification method. Here's the secret. Most verification are completely automated and they didn't actually investigate anything. And if they can't show you how they verified it, they're actually in violation of the law. Round 3 If they still haven't deleted, you can send a dispute letter stating that the bureau failed to properly investigate. You cite the specific inaccuracies like wrong balance, wrong date, or wrong status, and you request $1,000 in statutory damages under the FCRA Section 611. Now you're not playing defense, you're actually building a legal case. At the same time, send the collection agency one final letter. Demand the original purchase agreement, all terms and conditions, the legal proof of debt ownership, and the original creditor. If they can't provide it, they have no authority to collect or report it. Round 4. If nothing has been deleted, it's time to escalate. You're going to file a complaint with the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What is important is that the CFPB is not a dispute center, it is a complaint center. You're not going to ask them to dispute, you're going to tell them that the credit bureaus has violated your rights. Gather all of your documents, every letter that you sent, every response that you receive, every certified mail receipt, and your highlighted credit reports showing the inaccuracies. Turn everything into PDFs and upload it to the CFPB website or mail them in a big manila envelope. CC the credit bureaus and the collection agency. Now they have federal oversights breathing down their necks, and when that happens, deletion often comes off fast. One more thing, if you believe the account was opened fraudulently or it is truly not yours, you can also file an identity theft report at identitytheft.gov. This creates an official FTC report that you can attach to your disputes. It adds another layer of proof and pressure. Only use this if you generally believe that account is fraudulent. Don't file false reports. But if someone opened an account in your name without your permission, this is a powerful tool. Now, I also want to mention that something that most people miss, there are secondary credit bureaus beyond the big three, like LexisNexis, SageStream, and Innovis. Most people have never even heard of these, but these bureaus share data with lenders, landlords, and even employers. If a collection shows up on one of these reports, it can still hurt you even though it is gone from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You might get a collection deleted from the big three and think that you're done. Then you apply for an apartment and get denied because the landlord pulled your LexisNexis report. So don't let that happen to you. Pull the reports from these secondary bureaus as well, and if a collection is reporting there, dispute it in the same methods that I showed you. You want to erase all the collections everywhere that it exists. So that's exactly how you remove collections from your credit report in 2026. 3 different levels: easy, medium, and hard. Just pick one that fits your situation and your schedule. If you have one small correction with obvious errors, just start with easy. If you want to put a little bit more pressure, go with the medium level. And if you've been fighting this collection for a while and nothing has worked, then just go full hard mode. But here's something that I didn't mention at the start of this video. Everything that I just showed you only works if you actually do it. And I know life gets busy. Letters pile up, deadlines get missed, and forget to follow up after 45 days. That's the #1 reason why they fail at credit repair. They start off strong, but don't follow through. If you want to make this easier, Credit Rehab Pro does the heavy lifting for you. Link your credit report, recreate disputes letters in minutes, and it tracks everything all in one place. No figuring out what to write, no missed deadlines, and no confusion about what to do next. Click the link down in the description or scan this QR code on the screen to get started. I'll see you in the next one.